Show me why you have no money. So why would somebody waste their money on a Fender custom shop, for example, when the Squires are so good? Even if you have the money, I mean, the rich dad thing to do would be to buy the Squire for $150 and take the remainder of that $4,000 to $6,000 to $8,000 and invest it in creating a crypto and then promote it and make $1 million by Tuesday and then dump it. I don't know, pump and dump. I don't know what that stuff is. Maybe that would be kind of the rich person move. So let me start by explaining what I think people are looking for at each price point. First of all, at under $300, I think most people are looking for a functional guitar, something that plays and like works, and something that they can learn and grow on. And so for $700, I think people are looking for a good sounding, good playing guitar. That's what people are looking for. Now, at like under $1,500, people are expecting quite a bit more. They're expecting a really great sounding and great playing guitar. At $3,000 and under, people are looking for an American-made guitar, right? Because that's the difference. That's really the only difference between $1,500 and $3,000 is that one's made in the Far East, one's American-made. But when it comes to a custom shop level instrument, there are a few things. I have 4 things that I think most people are generally looking at. And they all revolve around one thing, and that's a feeling. So when you're buying a guitar like this, you're looking for a feeling. You're looking to get something more than just the new guitar euphoria. So the first thing that you could be looking for, that I think some people could be looking for, is clout chasing. I can't ignore this. I have to address that. That obviously you can brag, oh, I got a custom shop instrument. Look at me. I like to think that that's not me. I don't ever want to shame somebody that doesn't have a custom shop instrument. Listen, I have the Squire here, and it's super awesome. You don't need this to be a good guitar player. And so I don't want to ever shame anybody for not having something like this. I'm lucky and blessed to be able to have this. It came at quite a sacrifice. I traded a lot of gear to get this. There are situations, and I haven't run into this very much. I don't know if I've run into it at all. But if you're around a bunch of guitar players that have, you know, this level of gear, that have custom shop instruments, or you could kind of like fit in, maybe. And that is the worst reason to spend the money for one of these. So the second thing is something unique. Now, this isn't the route I necessarily went down, but I thought about going down this route. Something specific to them. Now, certainly you could go build a parts caster, but if you have the money and not the time, why not have Fender do it for you and spec a unique color? Or I actually love the 70s painted headstocks, and I do want to, at some point in the future, get one of the ones with the Kunafi wide range humbuckers, and I want a painted headstock because I think those are cool. But hey, maybe you want to do something like that. You want to do something unique. Well, the custom shop gives you the opportunity to do that, whether it's Fender or Gibson or boutique brands as well. Shabbat and Tom Anderson and, you know, all the boutique brands. Collings. If you have the money, honey, they'll build you what you want. The other thing is to have something special, right? To have something that's unique to them. And maybe you don't want something overly, you know, customized, but you want to have, like, just a special feature. You know, like a certain neck carve that maybe you can't get on a production guitar. Obviously, with Fenders, you can just buy a squire and swap out a neck. But when you have set neck guitars, not so easy to do. So maybe you want something that's maybe not out of the pale, but something just a little bit special, or a personalized touch that you want. I mean, there are guitars made, there were tributes to maybe a family member that has passed, or something like that. But the fourth one, for me, I think hits it a little bit more, and I think this is true of a lot of people that go this route, and that is a connection to the past. Now, before I go any further, I certainly want to address, I absolutely do not want to go back to the 1950s. I love my iPhone and my iPad and all that kind of stuff. But there's something special about, especially the tellies. The Telecaster is such an important guitar to the guitar history. And the Les Paul certainly as well, but whether it's Strats or whatever, you kind of want a connection to those old vintage instruments to almost channel some of the magic that those artists, whether it be Keith Richards and other guys that play tellies, or Les Pauls, or whatever instrument you want to spend the money on. And certainly to buy a Blackguard telly from the 50s is way out of my budget, and is way more expensive than one of these. And who knows, maybe I'll get a chance to own one. But the other thing is just because it's vintage doesn't mean it's good. Some of the guitars were not so good. Some of them were great, some of them were not so good. And when you buy vintage guitars, you better play it, because you don't know which one it is. But with this, I can kind of channel that past for less money, and it's still a brand new instrument from Fender, and is reliable, and is wired properly, and has had a lot of attention. This probably has had way more attention placed on it than any vintage instrument had in a Fender factory. Of course, a lot of the vintage instruments had that type of attention applied to them after they left the factory by various techs for artisans and such. But it's just that when I pick this up, it kind of connects me to some of the music that I love from back in the day, and it just is it's inspiring, and it puts me in a place. And oftentimes, when guitar players spend a lot of money, or spend in weird ways on instruments, they say, I pick it up, and you play a certain way, and it transports you to a certain place. Should I need this to be inspired to make music? No. Would I make music without this? Yes. Does it change how I play? Oh man, I'm gonna get crucified for this. But there are things on this guitar that I've been able to do that I haven't been able to do in the past. The thumb over being the big thing. And it's the kind of the soft V, the bigger soft V, just really facilitated the ability to do some things that I haven't been able to do on other guitars. So in some ways it has made me a better player. Now, could I find this neck carve? Could I buy a neck with this carve on it? Certainly. And put it on the Squire? Certainly I could. But this just guitar has a vibe, and it has a thing that it does to me, and it takes me to a place creatively. None of it makes any practical sense. And if you're an engineer or a manager, you're listening to this and you're thinking, what a fruitcake. But I think if you're an artist or a writer, and you're sensitive to kind of the creative vibes that an instrument can give you, maybe you understand. Maybe you won't. Maybe I'm nuts. That's probably true. Oh yeah, and the last reason is the sound. Maybe they play it and like the instrument. So let's see how this sounds. anyway, thanks for watching the video, and if you liked it, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. Here's I'm going to recommend a Telly. I think it's going to be over here somewhere. The Telly by Price Point. So if you don't want to spend the money on something like this, I can suggest some other ones at more affordable price points that could inspire you just the same as I'm inspired by this. So thanks for watching, and remember, it's always about the song. Peace.